Medium
Today
type?
about David Chappelle? Patton Oswalt?
No. What about him? I heard a lot of things. I'm not sure if we're on the same page, and I don't want to just start spewing things I know.
Go ahead, go spew some things you know.
Well, I just want to be sure before I just start jumping in. It sounds stupid, right? So if I say like Patton Oswalt
All right, so
used
he
to be a
he
VJ
took a
on
picture.
MTV back
He took
in
a
the day.
picture with Chapelle.
Yeah.
Right. He took a picture with Chapelle. He got like on Instagram. He got blasted for it.
Why?
Right.
Because they don't
Because
like him?
Chapelle is a transgender
He's a gender phobic.
right? Supposedly, right? Which I don't think he
Transphobic,
is.
yeah.
He just was making a joke, right?
Yeah.
So it says, then he took a picture with him and he's like post a picture, caption. He's so happy because he knew Dave Chappelle for like 20 years or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
Right? He knew Chappelle from.
He's been around for a long time.
Yeah, so he knew Chappelle. Him and Chappelle were really cool. He got a bunch of like DMs and stuff from people, and I guess people who are transgender activists and all that. So he made a post regarding him. Right? He made this post. Somebody's taking a picture of him doing this.
Mhm.
Like, it's just so made up, so
Just
phony.
a random
Just phony. Like,
picture
phony.
of him like studying.
Like, even wasn't they was
writing
talking about
down
it,
on
like,
paper
bro, like, how many times he probably took that picture?
for 100 times.
He's like, bro, no, give me like this, like I'm really thinking about
Yeah,
it. Right? And it's like he made that post, and then he and then he had this long caption, right, about, I just seen a friend or whatever, but he doesn't agree with them on anything on the LGBTQISBV stuff,
Yeah.
right? And he's just against all of that and all that, blah blah blah.
That's a
And
problem.
I'm like, so this is what we were talking about when we were saying about people covering their ass and going back. It's because people like to talk, and then when they get some pushback, now they got to regress on everything they said and like cover their ass and be like, no, I don't agree with Dave Chappelle.
You know how they come up with words for everybody? I'm going to come up with a word for this. We call these people apologists. They like
That's a
to
word.
apologize to cover their own ass,
Well, that's a
just
word,
in
yeah.
case. Again, remember we were talking about the covering ass shit?
Mhm.
This dude's like, just in case, because I know I have some fans out there. Like, you shouldn't have to come up with an apology for something you did. It's just
I
a
don't think
picture.
you should apologize for certain things. Certain things, like, everybody makes
yeah.
mistakes.
I mean,
right?
apologies in certain cases, I guess it makes sense. But in this, like something like
Unless
this,
it's a real mistake. Like,
I don't have to explain myself to you.
yeah, but if you make a real mistake, like if I'm saying something and I say the wrong word, and I know I said the wrong word, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you can see me make the mistake.
Yeah.
Right?
And you can see you make the mistake.
This is not a mistake,
no.
right?
I just took a picture.
This is his
of
friend.
an old friend.
He knew what his friend said way before he took the picture. You think he just found out what he said?
Yeah, but he's responding to comments. I bet he didn't just put this out.
No,
right
I'm
away.
saying, but this is what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right? Patton Oswalt walks in, he sees Dave Chappelle.
So what's up, bro?
He knows Dave Chappelle has all this beef going on with transgender, getting canceled. He already knows this.
Yeah.
You have to know this right now, unless you're like hiding in a basement.
Yeah.
And he's in public media.
Yeah.
He has to know Dave Chappelle is getting a lot of shit for his transgender comments.
For sure, but it doesn't matter. Like if I seen you,
No, listen.
I'll be like, yo, what up, Mo?
No, listen. So you see him, and you're like, damn, you don't even care about all that. You know all this is. Well, you take a picture with him.
Yeah.
Now that you get the wrong feedback from people,
I don't
now you put your hands up.
That's the trap of
Now you put your hands up like, oh, I didn't even.
Yeah.
I don't agree.
Yeah.
Now you got to explain yourself. That's what I'm saying about. That's my point when I'm saying
I get it.
you shouldn't have to push back. This is not a mistake.
Don't think that we're ignorant on this either, because I understand that celebrity comes with some caveats and also comes with some negative feedback. I get that. So no matter what, like a celebrity has to be specifically responsible for people he doesn't even freaking know. So, but I get that's a part of being famous. But in this case, why do you have to say anything just because you're getting negative feedback that you don't want? This Pat Oswald is not a friend to Dave Chappelle. That's what that shows. He's not a real friend.
No.
Because you wouldn't even bring it up. If somebody brought up,
Wouldn't it-
I dare you, if we invited Mike Tyson on here right now, bring up his rape allegations and see if it doesn't bite both our heads off. Because there's no reason to make it relevant or bring it up. You're not.
Well, no.
To be a part on his team, don't bring it up.
You know what would be an example of that is if I did invite Mike Tyson onto the podcast.
Yeah.
I had a conversation with him, right? And I
Mhm.
took pictures with him. And then I got a lot of pushback on my Instagram about Mike Tyson's a rapist. Why do you have him on your thing? And then I made a post and
Right.
apologized for having Mike Tyson.
That's not the way you go about it.
That's
not the way.
and I'm not gonna apologize. That's the problem. Like
Yeah.
I would be like, I wouldn't even respond to them.
Yeah.
There would be no
That's
response,
the point.
right? Because I don't need to respond to you. I don't need to explain.
That's
shit
somebody
to
who
you.
goes online too much and overthinks everything.
But he
And only looks
felt,
at the negative
he felt
comments.
like he needed to respond to this because either it's his main,
It's a celebrity trap.
but either it's his main like popular, like his fans, his main amount, a big amount of fans, and he doesn't want to lose the fans. But if you're not willing to stand for it, then like you said, that's not your friend. If you were willing to stand for him and be like, listen, he has a different way of thinking.
I wouldn't even stand up for him, and I wouldn't do either one. I wouldn't respond at all.
Once you respond,
that's insecure.
Then that's the trap.
That's an insecure motherfucker.
The response is the trap.
Yeah, 100%.
When you respond,
they're waiting for that.
That's the trap. Because now you're gonna mistalk. You're gonna misspeak.
I don't owe you an explanation.
You're gonna misspeak. You're gonna say something that they can do again to it. They're gonna.
If you're not the CIA and if you're not the president asking me the question, I don't have to give you my information. I don't care what you think.
And that's what happens. You're gonna say something. You're gonna that's what Dave Chappelle didn't really respond. But when you do, you're gonna say something wrong. They're gonna catch you misspeaking, and then they're gonna jump on that and even make it even worse than it is.
I saw the issue with entertainment too, and we were talking about that earlier. Everybody being so, this is the reason why I love stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedy is the last art form that they can actually utilize. They can talk about anything, every topic's on the table. They're allowed to, and it's not like they're allowed to. They're doing, it's untouched because it's not only just art, but it's a person's opinion or a person's observation, and they're allowed to just go. That's why I love stand-up. It's the last art form that hasn't been touched yet.
It's still being.
It is being messed with, but they still do. How many comedy shows we've been to recently? We just did a Lou and Mo comedy tour, bro. Yeah. And we went out and we saw a bunch of comedies, but you can see they're still pushing that envelope, and they always have. They always
because
have.
the real comedians are gonna do it.
They're gonna talk about it,
and that's good. Dave Chapelle does it.
Bill Burr does it.
Rogan does it. Michael Shea, some people I don't even really listen, but they push it.
That's comedy, though. That's comedy. When you go back to Pryor, when you go back to...
That's what I'm saying. Why can't it just be funny?
Yeah, it is funny.
It's just funny. Laugh at it.
And the fact that Patton Oswalt...
I think my son the other day said something about... we were watching Panda, Kung Fu Panda. You know what my son says? When they say something about him, he said they're fat shaming.
Oh no!
And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's a joke.
It's a funny joke.
The pandas fat. They're born like that.
Yeah.
That's the whole joke about it.
Yeah.
The pandas are big. They can't
get
trimmed down and be like a gorilla. They're pandas.
They're big.
That's the joke of the thing.
Yeah. He's misinterpreting it.
And I'm like, where are you learning this from?
Yeah.
And he told me where he got it from or whatever. But I'm like, fat shaming? Come on, bro. Stop. Stop. I understand that sometimes
it's still comedy.
I understand that sometimes people get teased a lot or whatever, and sometimes it can do a bad way, a good way. But I think again that has to go back to parenting, because if my son is coming home and looks like he's not in his right mode or mood, and he's being teased or he tells me this, I gotta talk him out of that. Right? I gotta talk to him about that.
True.
Right, not just let him dwell in it and be like, don't care what people think. This and that. I gotta tell him all that. Sticks and stone, breaks his bone, whatever, all that shit.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not just like you can't. This is what we do. We see that, and we see a couple kids that go down a bad path, and God forbid, something happens to themselves, and then we shut everything down. You can't even say bad. You can't even make a joke about people being
that's the thing. That's the problem.
It's so stupid.
Yeah. Well, it's not just sensitivity. The fact that Patton Oswalt is a comedian should understand how that
That's
works.
what I'm saying.
You should be smart enough.
He should have been prepared.
He's part of the community.
If anything, he should have been prepared.
For sure. Or don't say hello at all.
You're gonna see Dave Chappelle. Don't take a picture with him.
Mm.
Just keep him out of your Instagram. That's all. Forget it. Even though that's not really being a friend either, but because I can't be in public with you.
Some people need to mind their own business, and some people need to keep other people's names.
You ain't gonna get out of the way.
There's
There's so many people there's 4 million people that just quit their job.
Yeah.
They just sitting at home watching our podcast, hopefully watching YouTube.
Now, by the way,
or they on Instagram.
By the way, with this Patton,
commenting on people.
This is just something that we saw. It doesn't necessarily mean we know the full context behind everything. We don't know the whole story back and forth. We don't even know how long this was going on for. You just see it, and we have to kind of cover it just to let you know this is something that actually
happened on New Year's Eve.
But anything
he just made the response.
Yeah, we don't know the whole context behind everything. And Patton Oswalt, if you're listening, just come on our podcast, bro. I'll talk to you about it and we'll kind of figure stuff out. Just try to get.
No, I don't want you on.
No, bro. Fuck you, Patton.
Because you're an apologist.
Yeah, you apologist.
You're apologizing. Don't apologize, man.
If anybody should know, it definitely should be.
That's your boy. You know your boy. You know your boy is not transphobic. You know this. I know it, right? So don't. Why you letting people?
Patton Oswalt's gay.
I don't know, to be honest with you.
That's what I said. There's
some
context behind it that we don't know about.
We don't know.
We don't know if he dresses.
But I know he might have a lot of.
Wears high heels.
The only thing I was saying, he might have a lot of
Yeah,
LGBTQ people
part of his community.
that watch him,
Yeah.
right? Could be, right? She was on like the King of Queens.
Because I don't want somebody
Mike
to
and
comment
Mary. What was
below
he
and be
on? King
like,
of Queens?
bro, he's open.
But even if he is gay,
Transgender.
it doesn't matter if he's gay because
Yeah,
even the
hermaphrodite.
joke that Dame Chapelle talked about,
Yeah.
when he talked about transgender, was that one of his best people that he knew was a transgender
Yeah, I
that
know.
killed
And they
himself.
killed himself.
Right? So it doesn't even matter if he's gay or not. Patton Oswalt's his boy too.
Yeah.
And if he's gay, he's gay. But if not, why you shouldn't apologize. You shouldn't even take a picture with him.
Another thing is too, like, private should stay private. Like, even if he feels that way or he feels like he should, keep it to yourself, dude. You don't have to blow up though. But who am I to tell you what to do, Patton Oswalt? You obviously got a lot more money than me.
And I don't give a shit about you.
But overall,
We don't care.
when it comes to self-respect and being a
you don't
homeboy,
gotta go to sleep and
or
look at yourself in the mirror.
understanding how the media works, like, they love you're just pouring gas on the fire at that point.
Yeah,
And you're
being
throwing your
phony,
boy
man.
under your bus.
You're being phony. That's the only thing. I don't like phony people. I don't care if you're Bill Gates or you're Michael Jordan
No.
or fucking Lil Baby.
Doesn't
Whatever
matter.
you are. I don't care who you are, where you are.
It's gotta be a
Don't
good,
be phony.
a real
bro.
good
be
person.
real.
Yeah, it's gotta
Like,
be a
be
good person.
real. And to be real, I don't like fake people.
Do you
and
think
that's
that the consequence is going to be worse of that fact that you shook his hand, or the consequence is going to be worse that you
fake.
apologize for
picture
it?
with him. Well,
Which one's the
obviously-
worst? Which one's
obviously
going to be
he
worse?
thinks that taking the picture is worse.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure there's some comments on there that go back that are bringing up the same topic we're bringing up right now. Like, bro,
I don't know.
why?
Everybody talked about it. Joe
Why?
Rogan talked about it.
Yeah.
He said the same thing.
Right, and now your peers are going to be pissed at you. So what puts bread and butter on your table? They're going to be like, well, we don't really trust him too much.
Yeah,
Because,
everybody talked about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, these are the people who are giving you money and hooking you up, and you turn your back on them and go towards the fans instead. Good luck.